Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us again for another wonderful chat. Yes, we really enjoy them, and we want to thank you for returning. If you're new, welcome.
Welcome.
Just want to remind you before we get going, we'd love for you to like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell notification so you'll be the first to be notified.
Yes.
Okay, as we're Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. Tea is what we start off with, right?
Absolutely.
What are we drinking today, Gloria?
Today we're drinking Bilberry Tea.
New one.
It is new. It says for more than 75 years, long before it became fashionable, this profound, healthy, giving, proprietary properties of herbal tea has been being offered to the world. And what I love is, when you go and look for ingredients, it says bilberry berries. So you can stretch it and see it.
And it is so it's only bilberry, but
Yeah.
what I like about it is that, do you know what a bilberry is, everybody? Have you ever heard of it? Where do you buy it? If you want just the bilberry, it's very hard to come by, and I've never seen it in any grocery store, but it is one of the fruits that is very, very healthy for you, the highest antioxidants, has high vitamin C and magnesium, and helps reduce inflammation. So it's like a great...
It sounds something like you just want to rub it all over your body. You want to ingest
so
it.
So you can get bilberry in anything that even if it's not straight bilberries, do it, because very, very, very healthy for you.
Yes.
And we've had it seeping just for a bit, but you know us, we like to really have the full flavor. But we're going to smell it first just to see. It smelled very faint when I opened up the bag.
Yeah.
I don't smell it really much.
It's still very mild.
We're going, well, shall we cheers? We'll try it now.
And then we'll let it seep a little longer.
Still very mild. Don't taste anything. Really don't taste anything.
You can see the darkness.
Well, it's kind of like two-toned. At the bottom, it's really dark. And as you get higher up, it's kind of light.
So we're gonna play around with it and see what we can get. Alrighty. So, as you know, if you're a returning person, we always like to start our chats off talking about Ellen. This time before we do, though, I want to acknowledge that the month of May is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. It's the whole month of May, and it's about getting out and learning more about diversity and different cultures. So I think that's awesome. And it's also Mental Health Awareness Month, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. So now to our we're Ellen girls. We always like to start our chats off talking about her. She only has 2 more shows and then she's done.
Can't believe it. It's crazy.
Today and tomorrow, and then she's done. So yesterday, of course, she had the queen of talk show, Oprah Winfrey, on, and they did they went back and showed some events from previous shows. And in 2017, Oprah was on the show, and they went to the grocery store. And you know how you take your little bags in your purse, so that you don't have to buy a bag for 10 cents and they're reusable bags. So Ellen says to Oprah, here's our reusable bags. And they were Louis Vuitton luggage. Only Ellen and Oprah would do that. The people in the grocery store, though, was so cool. They had their cameras out and they were filming, and I'm sure they made a good time out of it. But it was just nice to see a lot of laughter. Because as Oprah was watching it, she kept saying, you're crazy. Because she is. I mean, the two of them are very good together.
She's hilarious. Even Ellen with Michelle Obama is pretty crazy as well when they do shows together.
Yes, anytime she does that thing where I love the one she did with Adele, where she told Adele she went to like a juice place.
Oh, yes.
Remember she told her to eat the grass?
Ear.
Yes, and she goes, just pull off some grass and eat it. And the guy behind the counter, you see the mortified look on his face, because she's Adele. So do you just let her go? Or do you say, oh my God? And he just, he's like, he just let her go with it. So that part is really, really cool. Our thoughts and prayers are still with the people of Ukraine, and we have actually started having some situations here in the United States have becoming more and more pressing. We have a situation where yesterday in, I want to make sure I give Uvalde, Texas, at the Robb Elementary School. Now, did you hear the word elementary school? These are babies. They are between second and fourth grade. So I think that makes them between 6 and 10 in age.
7 or 10 or whatever. Yeah. What happened to first grade?
Well, see, I don't know. They said that the kids were, well, elementary used to be.
It's kindergarten through 5th grade.
Right.
And I didn't understand when they said only second through 4th.
Yeah. So I don't know if that means they have like a smaller area for preschool, right, kindergarten, and first grade. Yeah. And then you move over to elementary.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
So it was devastating. I'm going to try and hold myself together. I've been so sad because I just...
Another mass shooting happened only last week. We were talking about the shootings that happened in Buffalo and also...
Buffalo, New York, and the ones... Where was the other one?
The other one shooting was, what was it? The Asian guy went to some
here
place in California and shot the Taiwanese people in the church and stuff. So no sooner have we talked about that than we hear yesterday there's another mass shooting. Now, I'd never heard of Uvalde. Had you?
Yeah. Well, no, but when they said El Paso, and I went, oh, I've been to El Paso, Texas many times. And El Paso is a tourist town. So everybody's happy because if you're mean, nobody's going to come.
Right.
And, they have the Alamo. Everybody wants to go see the Alamo. You think the Alamo is huge, and it's this little bitty building, but it's a landmark. I mean, and the people are typically very sweet, very kind, very loving.
Well, Uvalde is a very different, small, very close-knit community, and the guy's name, Salvador Ramos. Remember that? Salvador well, you may not want to remember that.
Yes.
He is the 18-year-old young man who purchased just after his 18th birthday, aka
2 assault rifles.
Yes, 2 of them. It was their AR guns actually, and he went into this Robb Elementary School and just started shooting.
Yeah, but initially, he was at home.
Yes,
he shot his grandmother.
Yes, he shot his grandmother before this.
And she places a 911 call. She tells the police, "I've been shot." So the police go to find out what happened, and while they're trying to figure out what's going on with her, he's in a car. They don't even know how he learned to drive because he
doesn't have a driver's license.
No, and they're like, he doesn't know how to drive, but he was driving. He crashes his vehicle, and then where he crashed the vehicle, there was a school, and then he went inside.
Yeah, and that's when he started shooting up.
Yes. Anybody, and if anything moved, he shot at it. And once again, Rosetta and I have spent a lot of time talking about these repeat guns, where if you have a pistol, it's 1, 2, it's very slow. But when you have the mechanism to turn something to where you can spray.
But he didn't buy that gun like that. He modified it with something from his dad, I heard.
Yeah.
So he made it, did some modifications to allow it. Because you're not allowed to buy those kind of guns, right? That's what I've heard.
I don't know, because in Texas, you can buy anything.
Okay, I thought that it was nationwide. You can't buy those kind of guns.
Texas has different laws in that they allow people to purchase whatever kind of gun they want.
Well, he took the guns he purchased and modified them with something from his dad, some equipment with his dad. So that's how he was able to do what he did. And tragic, 19 innocent young children were killed, and 2 teachers. This is like the biggest mass shooting of a school next to Sandy Hook. And I can't believe there's been 40 school shootings in just the last year. 40 school shootings The last one was Parkland. I didn't hear too much about Parkland. Do you remember Parkland?
I don't remember a lot about it, but at the time it was pretty devastating. And, you know, one of the things that I think this one is a little different is we're all like, okay, we can't get over it. We can't let this go.
Right, because it was Parkland, then it was Sandy Hook, which took the lives of 15, wasn't it?
I think it was 15.
Into Sandy Hook, and now this is Robb, which is 19.
Yeah.
Plus the 2 teachers. And this is listen to this, people. Some of the statistics here I have is statistics of active shooters. There were 17 in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, there's 60. Then mass shootings in 2019 is 417. 2021 jumps to 693 mass shootings.
Yeah.
And we are evidence, because we've talked about this just last week, 2 mass shootings. This week, Robb Elementary, another mass shooting. So, and I think Gloria is going to talk about, there was another one recently, right, in Oakland?
Oh, yeah. Yesterday. There was another shooting in Oakland. And the shooting in Oakland resulted in 3 people being shot. They're in the hospital. I don't know if they're still alive or not. I was talking to a friend on Sunday in Chicago. They have a curfew now. You're not allowed to be out on the streets in a park after like 6 or 7 p.m. because people are just randomly going down the street shooting people. You know, and that's what I was talking about, Mental Health Awareness Month. I think it needs to be mental health awareness for more than just May.
Well, it needs to be every day.
Every day. Because now one of the things that blew my mind, anytime something like this happens, they start trying to backtrack to figure out what set this young man off. Why did he do what he did? So the first thing they did is they went to his high school and they started talking to some of his friends. People who knew him, not really friends.
Right.
Because they would say, you know, yeah, he used to be my friend, but then he started acting weird. And I was like, okay, did you tell somebody? And I understand, you know, there's this thing where you don't want to be the snitch. However, there are certain times when you're like, I don't care if you call me a snitch, you crazy. And I need to tell somebody what's going on. There was a young girl and she said, you know, we used to, you know, kind of talk and hang out. She goes, but then he started like cutting himself.
Well, there was marks on his face.
From him. He did it to himself.
And then he said, I did it myself.
Yeah, and he goes, I kind of like the way it looks. Those are signals that something is up.
Something is not right up here mentally. He's got his state of mind is his cognitive understanding of how things should be is not right.
There's something going on. So he's got all this going on. Then he goes out and he purchases the guns. He has all this ammunition. So it is clearly his intention. Now, once again, you know, I'm always talking to you about technology, Facebook. So he starts posting on Facebook.
And tagging people.
And telling him, you know, I'm going to go and shoot up a school.
Well, he said, wait until tomorrow.
Yes.
So that's what he said. And my thing was, if you're tagging me and I see this, where is the accountability for the people that have been tagged?
Yeah.
Don't they think red flag, let's bring it to the authorities or go to the police? There has to be some kind of accountability.
Right. We all need to have some form of red flag notification. So, Facebook, if you are going to provide this tool to allow people to have freedom of speech and blah, 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 you have to also provide some form of responsibility and accountability. You cannot let children just keep willy-nilly doing things. Now they're killing babies.
Yeah, so you're right. He posted this on Facebook.
Yeah.
Don't they have people trolling Facebook to see what kind of things are being put up?
You would think. I mean, it's almost as if no one ever complains, then Facebook, it's like, if you don't say nothing, I don't care. If it starts to surface up, then people will be like, okay, maybe we should do something. However, if our children are watching adult men in Washington, D.C. behave badly, and in our states behave badly, then where's the line? Where is it? You know, like when you were a kid, you draw a little line on the ground and you say, you cross this line, I'm gonna kick your butt.
Yes.
You know, I mean, and then they would cross it and you do another line. I mean, it was just something that kids did. It wasn't nothing of the magnitude today. And the thing that's very sad, very, very sad. So the guns are being legally, I mean, I guess there's no age limitation because he's only 18. So I understand, yes, there was a draft and you have to register for the draft at the age of 18. However, that's going into the armed forces where you are trained how to use that gun. You are trained to care for that gun, to polish it, to keep it up. You're not just willy-nilly. I don't think children under the age of 21, when you're allowed to drink, should be allowed to buy a gun.
And I thought that, tell me if I'm right or wrong on this. I thought that there was a law passed where if you buy a gun, there's a hold for so many days.
Oh, there used to be a 3-day hold. They do like a
background check or something before it can be issued. So what happened between that time and now where you can go in and buy the gun?
They got rid of it. There's so many states like Texas. Okay, so Governor Abbott. Okay, so last week, it might have been maybe 2 weeks ago, he was talking somewhere, like giving a speech, and he said something to the effect of, which this blew my mind, they just came out with the highest registration of guns in the United States.
Yeah, I believe
and
it.
And Texas is number 2. Unfortunately, California is number 1.
Wow. And
he said, oh, we can do better than that, trying to inspire his people to go out and buy more guns. Today, while he is doing a press conference about the loss of lives, instead of him saying, you know, we want people to be able to bear arms and to protect themselves. However, this has gone too far. We're going to have to, step back. No, he said that it is the problem of the media and how this is being presented. He took no accountability for the laws that they passed. Ted Cruz, he says, oh, this is being politicized by the Democrats.
Yes.
And he said that this is not, they're just making it worse than it sounds. I feel sorry for both of you. I really, really do. I think it's really sad that instead of you as fathers worrying about our children and the future of our country, that you are so busy being bought off and paid off by the NRA. Now they're having a conference on Friday. Today is Wednesday, in 2 days, and they are going to be speakers. Also, Trump is supposed to be a speaker at the conference.
Okay.
Now, a little bit more about the NRA. Used to just to be an entity that kind of governed, weapons, guns, in America. Do you know that the NRA is a 1501-C4, which means it's a nonprofit?
It's a nonprofit?
Yeah.
Wow. Did not know that.
I was like, so the NRA, they do contributions to people who are running for office, governors, mayors, senators, president, campaigns, whatever. Mitt Romney of Utah has received $13 million from the NRA in contributions. Ted Cruz has received $1 million in contribution from the NRA. I mean, I'm not trying to say you can't receive contributions. However, if those contributions come with you have to do it my way, then you tell them no thank you.
Especially when you're talking about guns.
Yes. So I am just very, very disappointed. And voters of the United States of America, it's time. If they are not going to do what we want, then it's time for them to go home. I think we've all heard about the filibuster. Now, this is where you can bring a matter to the floor and of Congress, and you can stand and you can explain and you can talk. And it's like people don't go to the bathroom, they don't eat, they stand there and they talk and they talk and they talk until they get people to hear them. Now, they have modified that so much that it has been politicized. If they want to do something right now, they can change the filibuster process. They will have more than enough votes to bring in gun control. Coach Steve Kerr of the Warriors were playing basketball yesterday. After the shooting, he didn't want to talk about basketball. His team is trying to make it to the playoffs, and he did not want to talk about basketball. He wanted to talk about these children. And he said, and he pounded on the table, and he goes, when is enough enough? He goes, I'm tired of this. I'm sick of this. And that's how all adults should be feeling today. We're tired of this. We're sick of this. And people, if you think you can sit your butt up in Washington, D.C., and we, the little common people, can't do anything, we're going to show you.
So what really aggravates me is that once you turn 18, they consider you an adult.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with, because my son is 18, as soon as you're considered an adult. So when you go to the doctors, you're not allowed to have your parents, you're not allowed to get information. Everything gets emailed to your child. It's up to your child whether they want to like
share it or
share
not.
The information with you. But then you're too young at that age.
You really are.
18 is not old enough to be able to make your own decisions.
And back in the day,
anything.
parents, and see, this is, old school, parents would have told the government, hey, go away. I'm not going to let you put things in place that could be detrimental to my child. So say that young man, who was in, say he was under duress. However, his grandmother, which was his guardian, would have never, one of his guardian and his parents, they would have never known he was under duress.
Right.
Because if he's 18, the doctors can't really tell. I think that's detrimental to the future of our children. They have to, doctors, your job is to assess. And if my child comes in and they're talking to you and they say, I think I'm going to buy a gun, I'm going to shoot some people, you better tell me. Because if I find out that you knew and you didn't do anything to tell me about my child.
That's the sad thing about that.
Yes.
That they're not allowed to, and because it's all in confidence. That's what it boils down to. It's confidence. They're an adult. You're allowed to have that confidential talk, and it's okay. We're not going to expose you or anything. But then, I don't understand. There's this thing that, okay, you're not allowed to drink in America. You're not allowed to drink alcohol until you're 21, but you're allowed to go and fight for our country at 18.
Mm-hmm.
So something is wrong here. It doesn't make sense.
Now in the South, because when I turned 18, I was in Louisiana. I could go in a bar and have a drink. In California, you couldn't have a drink until 21.
So it's different in Louisiana.
This is one of the problems or one of the situations. Every place is different. It's dependent upon what I deem I want to do with my state.
Well, I don't know who decided that at 18 you become an adult.
No kidding.
Who made that ruling? Because you are too young to be an adult, 18. I think an adult is when you're 20.
Yeah.
I think it should be 20 or even 21.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Because I see a lot, even my son, I think he's 18. Some of the things that they expect adults to do, my son I could not imagine him doing those things. He's grown up, he's old enough, but just the mentality, it's still not quite there. The maturity is still not quite there.
And it takes time. And I mean, there was something else that I had looked up, like you, a little information.
Right.
So in 2007 at Virginia Tech, 32 people were killed. These are all mass shootings, okay? 2012, 27 were killed at Sandy Hook. However, in 1991, in Lubbock, Texas once again, 23 people were killed. In 2016, 49 people were killed at the Orlando Pulse nightclub. Remember when? Yes. You're at a club partying, and all of a sudden there's shootings. Okay. let's see, 17 in Las Vegas. I remember they were running. Yes, 60 people were killed. I mean, they knew if they, made enough of a noise and said, there's somebody with a gun, people would start running. And what they did is they forced them to run to them so that they could shoot them.
Right.
Very, very calculated. Very calculated. 2019, El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, I remember
Walmart,
that. Yes.
23 people were killed. And then Uvalde, Texas, yesterday, 21 people. Texas, you got a heck of a...
So Sandy Hook had more people that were killed.
Yeah, 27.
Yeah, 27.
Yeah,
I thought it was only like, I thought it was like 15.
No, it was 27.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there is lots and lots going on, and I don't know how we get our government, senators, mayors. I know how we get them. Term.
That's all we've been saying. Gloria's been saying that.
Term.
Just like the president has terms.
Yes.
There should be terms for people on the set. Yes, there should be.
Yeah.
And it should be max, I would say max 2 terms.
Yes.
That's my feeling.
Just like the president.
Yeah, 2
so
terms.
So you can do 8 years and then bye-bye. Because then you can't build this alliance to like the NRA or anyone like that. And I'm not saying anything bad about the NRA, because I'm sure to them, they are doing what they have to do for their stockholders. However, I would hope at one point there's a conscious person that says, you know what, this is out of control. And we, the NRA, we're going to do something about this. But right now, they're not.
Yeah, so 2 terms I think should be max, because once you get more than, you start building up the terms, then the people in those seats are getting older and older, and they're not really understanding what people today really want.
Yeah, like when we were talking last week about the Supreme Court. If you're sitting on the Supreme Court and you're quoting as fact things that happened in the 1600s, and we're in 2022, sweetheart, it's time for you to go home and sit down, because you've lost the connection to the human aspect of your job.
Right.
You have to do what is best for us, the citizens of the United States. And if you can't do that, I'm sorry, it's time to retire.
Yeah.
Go and sit on a lake. I think sometimes, and I remember, we were trying to sensitize people. And at my school, what they did is they brought in dolls and they made us all carry a doll. And the thing that was really crazy is, people had the dolls under their arm, and, we're going through the line to get lunch, but you had to keep it on you. You couldn't put the doll down. And then somebody said, oh, is that how you would treat a baby if that was your baby? And I mean, we were all like, what do you mean a baby? We took the babies from under our arms, and it was to get us to realize, I think maybe we need to do a test with these people in office. I think that we need to somehow resensitize them to life and death. You bragging, don't care. Don't care no more. I don't care if you get 1 million tweets. Don't care, don't care. You should get your butts off of Facebook, off of social media completely. You're supposed to be running your states and our government. Who gives a damn about what you ate for dinner? I don't care anymore. I want you off. I want you sensitized. And maybe if they take, and you know how sometimes when you're on a jury and they show you pictures and you're like, oh my God, maybe they should lock them in a room and show them pictures of these babies, these 19 babies,
God, that's,
over and over until their old decrepit butts say, oh my God, we've got to do something.
Well, every time we hear about a mass shooting, everyone says we've got to do something.
Yeah, and then 2 weeks later,
another shooting, mass shooting. When is enough enough?
I think this one is going to be a little different, because this is our babies. There could have been a future president among those 19-year-old children. There could have been someone who could come up with a vaccine that everyone would love to put in their bodies.
Just amazing young people that haven't even had a chance to grow into themselves. And just, there was I think one mother just went that day to see the child get an award.
Yes.
Little did she know, come 11:32,
the last time
that he would be gone.
Yeah.
He would be gone. And you just, I mean, you put yourself as a parent in that situation. Okay, if your child, you drop your child off at school.
I'll see you when school's over, baby.
All of
Have
a sudden,
a good
you
day.
hear something about this mass shooting. You
Yes.
have no clue whether your child was involved or not. What do? Of course, you're going to be like...
And you saw
frantic.
the parents running, and the police are trying to get the parents to not run in the school. And I thought to myself, I would have run in the school.
I don't know what I would have done. I feel when I'm thinking about it, putting myself in that situation, I'm like, that would have been it for me. I would have been like freaked out.
Yeah.
I would have been praying, dear God,
please take care of my child.
Praying to God and asking the universe, let this not be my child. My child is fine. My child is okay.
I mean, and the worst thing about this, dear people who are watching us, this is seared in their memory banks for the rest of their life. This is something that I don't know if age they will grow out of it. They all need therapy because to see their little friends. Because one of the things that the newscaster said this morning is all of the people that were shot were inside the school.
Yes.
So that means they are in close proximity to each other. And the teacher, there's a young girl, she's out, she's an adult, and she was talking about her teacher and how her teacher inspired her as a person. Teachers are the cornerstone. The cornerstone. You trust a teacher with your child's life and the development and to help them to bring out who they are and their creativity. And this young man just took their lives like nothing.
Yeah, the most devastating part was watching, like, not knowing and then having to give DNA.
Yes, to match.
Yeah, to match. So that was really, and then, my God, I could not. There was one father who wasn't sure, or was it the grandfather? I forget who if the child, 10-year-old girl,
was alive
or
he
not.
Went to the school, he couldn't get information, so then he went to the hospital and they said she's not here.
So he tried to go to the funeral home, right? And tragically, that was one of the children.
He couldn't find her,
shot.
and that's how it evolved. I mean, can you imagine? Whether it's your child, your sister, your mom, your dad, this can even go all the way into our babies, our pets that we love, our cats, our dogs, that something happens and you can't even find out a status. I don't understand.
We're so passionate about this because I'm from England and we don't have guns.
Right.
And I don't know what to do because it all stemmed, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, it all stemmed from the amendment.
Yeah.
The right to bear arms. But as we're saying, that was back in what century was that ago? And they didn't have people going crazy and doing mass shootings.
And the right to bear arms does not say you have the right to bear AR or AK repeat rifles and guns. There's nothing that says that you as an individual are allowed to buy something that can kill many people in a few seconds.
Yeah.
I don't have, like I told you, I was raised around guns too. However, I knew if I touched that gun, my life was over. My parents and my grandparents did not play. And the gun was there for protection, not for fun. And I always tell you this, and it just hit my mind, that I think sometimes that because our children are so in tune with the digital world and the games and all of that, that they imagine themselves like they're playing the game, but it's real.
You're right. Remember back in the day, Columbine, the two, Dylan Clayball and his partner?
Yes.
They were very into playing video games.
Yes. Because it desensitizes you. I've seen parents do this, and I'm old school, so I always try and say to them, maybe letting your toddler play video games violent video games is not the best thing. And if you're raised up, you start from a toddler, you're playing these games, and then you get to a point where you need some assistance, but you can't get the assistance because you're an adult and you're responsible for yourself, but you don't know what to do. I mean, if I saw a child cutting themselves, like I always look at little girls' wrists, because that's something that they do when they're so frustrated and they have no one to talk to. They will cut themselves. Not to kill themselves, but it's something about the pain of the cutting.
Not sure why, but why is it that this Salvador Ramos, he cut his face and the girl saw it and nobody did anything? What about the grandmother? She didn't do anything.
Yes.
Or maybe she tried, and obviously he's an adult, so he can do what he wants.
There's not much you can do with him now. But I mean, who taught him? Okay, how did he go get the guns?
Yeah,
you can't get on your bike. You mean to tell me he got on a bike or he walked?
That's $1 million question right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did he get there to get the guns? And when he's trying to drive the car, he doesn't know what he's doing. He crashes it because he doesn't know how to drive it.
And then he just leaves it.
Yes. But when he gets out the car, he comes out aimed and ready to go. I'm like, and I'm sure, he also had body armor.
Do you think that he was aiming for that elementary school, or is it because he crashed
I think it's because he crashed there, because to me, he didn't know those kids.
So I wonder where he was
probably trying to get to his school. All the people who called him weird.
Yeah, because he was teased a lot and he had what was it? Something. Did you have a stutter or something? Oh, a lisp. Lisp. Yes.
And we know children can be a little cruel. However, nowadays I think parents should be trying to teach their children, don't make fun of anybody. You don't know what the reason, it could be a medical situation, it could be something physical. It's not nice. It's where's the love and kindness of Americans?
That's usually how it stems. Have you noticed a lot of kids that lash out stem from being bullied?
Yes.
They either commit suicide or they do something drastic, go on a rampage and shoot themselves afterwards.
Yes.
But this incident, he was shot by the police.
So they're going to keep going through all of the information they can find on his social media accounts. I just think that social media companies have got to be more responsible. If you're going to put the tool out there and a child can hurt themselves or hurt others, you have to somehow come up with something. I'm not trying to tell you to change your whole company.
Right.
However, if you can have artificial intelligence that will tell you, ding, 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 we hit 1 billion people today, woo-hoo. You can have artificial intelligence that tells you red flag.
Yep.
Red flag.
And we don't want you to come. Somebody. We definitely don't want you to come back and say, well, there's just way too much information out there in social media for us to track that. That one incident, someone posted something. There has to be a way.
Yeah.
And it's the responsibility of everyone. If you receive a post and your name is tagged,
right,
and you feel this is not right, they're showing guns, you better bring it to authorities. I would.
Yeah. And I mean, like the person, he wrote 180-page manifesto about 180 pages about what he was going to do, how he was going to do it, when he left the church, where he was going, where his next stop was. Really? And then he does all of this killing, and then he goes not guilty.
Yeah.
They didn't do nothing wrong. By whose standards? Where are your parents?
Yeah, it's sad because you're right. The guy crashed his car, and because the school was there, those were the unfortunate victims. Yeah. I think because he was so enraged, and because he has obviously mental health issues. He was so enraged, he didn't care to get to his final destination. He said, "Just get out there and just start shooting. That's going to relieve my tension and stress."
Yes. I mean, I, as a child, I've always had conversations with adults, and I'd be like, I don't think so, and I'd get a spanking if I got too out of control. However, I would never shoot my grandmother. I would never hurt her.
You would never have shot because you're of right state of mind.
Yeah.
Sound state of mind. He had,
mental
health issues. And it stems from, his bullying and days from school. He wasn't accepted.
Yeah.
So this will never go away, mental health issues, and it stems from when kids are younger.
Yes.
It's all about, when me and Gloria say, stems from top down. It's the teachers and the parents who mold and shape the children into who they are.
Absolutely.
And it's so important as a teacher to really, there are schools that do bullying,
yes,
like events,
yes,
and activities,
yes,
to prevent being bullied.
Yeah.
And I just wish more schools would do that.
I do too. And it's really interesting how, I say this all the time. It's almost as if when Trump was president, he unleashed the beast. He somehow made it cool to be mean, made it cool to just act out. However, you are not Donald Trump. Your life will not be the same. Ted Cruz, you are on a slippery slope. Here is a man that is in our government, and he is on a podcast, and he's talking about, how does this guy get all the pretty women with the hot leather clothing and all of that?
God.
He's married. If I was Mrs. Ted Cruz, I would have, when he got home, I'd say, okay. Like Whoopi said, that's number 2. You cannot disrespect your wife and expect females to vote for you. It's time for us to change the laws to protect our children. And if you are in office and you can't support us, yesterday was a big, election day back east. And Donald Trump's candidates, 50-50.
Yeah.
50-50. Everybody didn't win, so he's not the be-all, do-all. And after today, people of the United States of America, you should sit down and think about your actions, because that is just wrong.
Yeah. There's so much more we're going to discuss, because as the days and weeks unfold, we're going to learn more about this mass shooting.
Yes.
And what is being done. Because you're right, Gloria is right. I think this time is a bit different, because a lot of people are standing up saying, when is enough is enough. This is enough.
This is enough. These are babies.
I mean, we should have said that like years and decades ago, when even Columbine, that was happened. But now we really need to take action, not just
because
words.
it's getting more pervasive. I mean, they said that so far, remember now, this is May 24th, 25th. Okay? There has been over 250 shootings. We haven't even hit June yet. We're still in the first half of 2022. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time. So, we always like to, get our passions out, but we also want to, give you a little bit of levity, and we want to bring a little joy and laughter in some cases.
Yeah, but we just have to, because this is big news, and it's something that's near and dear to us, and we just want to express how we're feeling and what needs to be done. And if you want to continue this discussion, we'd love to hear from you. Comment below in the description, and what do you think should be done? Yeah, it is time. To be silent is to be complacent and to say, I don't care. And I don't know a woman on planet Earth that watched those news reports yesterday and said, I don't care. Yeah. It's time. So on Sunday, American Idol concluded. What did you think? Did the person you want to win? If so, comment below and let us know who and why. I was shocked that Noah won.
I was too.
He was okay. I didn't think that he was.
I thought Hunter Girl had it in the bag.
Oh, me too.
She's a songwriter. She did her own material. I loved her style. Whoever her person is that dresses her, they need to help my girlfriend Kelly Clarkson out, because they keep putting her in those flowery, flumpy dresses, and I'm like, why are they doing that?
With her, she likes these dresses, flowery, flump, and then she wants a belt.
Yeah, but to show that she has a waist, but just because she wants it.
But the thing with her is that they're long and they're not slimming. They're kind of like a bit like flowing.
Yes, very flowy.
Yeah.
But I loved how Hunter Girl looked, her attire. I loved her voice. I think that Noah, he had an okay voice. I mean, I love the fact that even when he had COVID, he sounded better with COVID when he was sick.
Yeah, I think more people, I think he got the votes not for talent, for likability.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of women liked him. But I thought Hunter Girl would have been better. But you know what I was thinking? Even though Hunter Girl didn't win, she's still going to have an amazing career. So it may have been good that Noah did win, because now he can get people to write for him, to produce, because he's not an artist. He doesn't write, he doesn't produce. No. Hunter Girl can do that. She can do that.
Yeah.
So I think it may have been the right decision, because he needs all that kind of baby.
Well, like as you know, I love Michael, and I love when he performed with Bublé.
Oh my God.
Oh, I mean,
that was
and Bublé kept rubbing his shoulder, and
I don't know what he was doing. I thought,
well, it was just to kind of calm him down, to get him, because he was singing, and Michael kept looking at him but he kept singing. So I really, really liked his performance.
Oh my God, he's so much potential.
Yeah, he does.
Really, his voice.
He's like Frank Sinatra of the new millennial right now, because he's just got that swagger about him, and I don't know if it's because he's Italian or what. He's like, come to my house and I'll make you some pizza. He's just a regular, down the way guy, but I love him.
Let's just see how far the careers go, because I really want Hunter Girl. She's going to do well.
Yes.
And I want Christian to do well.
Yes.
Whether he didn't win, hopefully he'll do well.
And I want Jay to do well. He performed with Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I love that he was able to hang in there with Felipe and hit those high notes, and I really like that.
Yeah.
I was really sad, because I think if he had done maybe a couple of ballads to show off his swagger, he may have done better. But I think at about the time we could watching it, they'd already made up their mind who was going to win.
Right.
So that happened. As we all know, Courtney Kardashian got married. So she is now a married woman.
In Italy, of all places, and that's where Kim got married, in Italy, to Kanye West.
That's right. And I thought the interesting thing was, okay, if you're going to get married in a church, you shouldn't wear a miniskirt. I'm sorry. The veil was beautiful, but the veil matched his head. There were things there, and I was like, really? I mean, she had on a corseted white dress, and all I'm saying is what she could have done is had like a little tulle around it for the service, and then once she left the church, drop the tulle, drop the veil, and show
and have the mini underneath it. But at the church, you should have been a bit more,
just a little bit more,
just
a little bit more.
Right.
So that was really interesting. I just saw the wedding. I don't know what Kim and all of them did. I'm sure it's on their new Hulu.
Chloe Kardashian. She's the one. She had her moments of having photo shoots for herself during that.
Didn't she have on like a leopard print or something?
I don't know what she had on, but she was, I thought she was trying too hard.
Well, she found out once again that Tristan was lying to her, and I think he was supposed to initially be there, but then all of a sudden, did you notice none of the girls? Pete wasn't with Kim. Tristan wasn't with, there were no men. There was just the girl. I think because some men weren't, okay, how do you have a wedding and invite all these men and don't invite Scott? So I think I
don't understand
Corey
why.
wasn't there. None of the men were there.
Corey wasn't there?
Corey wasn't there.
Okay,
Scott.
what is the story, people?
If you know, tell us.
We want to know. Why is there no men there?
I don't
know. Who was there? Just the kids?
The girls.
Just the girls? What about Robb? Robb Kardashian, was he there?
I didn't
what about all their kids, all the grandkids?
I didn't see a picture of any of them.
That's
and like the mom's wedding.
Really
I mean, aren't you going to be at your mommy's wedding?
Isn't that
and they
odd?
were like, well, no, that's just the Italian wedding. They're going to do it again in the States. And I'm like, oh.
Okay, well, we'll yet to be seen.
Yes.
We'll
I don't do Hulu, so I don't know.
I have not watched any of their shows.
Yes. So you know how we're always making fun of the Wendy show and which guest hosts we like and which ones we're like, oh my God. Well, we are always talking about Leah Remini and Michelle Visage. And I'm always like, oh my God, Wendy is about hot topics. there are times when they do no hot topics.
It's all
they
about
don't
them.
do how you doing.
No, they don't.
No,
it's
they
all
come
about
in
them.
and they sit down.
Leah, especially
Yeah.
Leah, is all about Leah.
Yes.
And she's very serious.
Yes.
And she's kind of mean.
The way she hits Michelle.
She's mean.
Like Michelle so Michelle went on a new eating regimen where she let go of nuts and legumes.
Right.
She lost 30 pounds. She looks great. And, but they're doing these segments. And so, like she'll pick up something. They were doing this segment where you make your own mask.
Right.
Okay, and she picked it up to hold it up, and she started hitting her. You don't know where that's been. Don't put that on. And she's like, I'm not putting it on my face. I'm just holding it up. And I thought to myself, why are you hitting her?
Yeah, she's a bit, I'm not sure.
So the Twitter feedbacks were, when they hear that they're the host, they turn the channel off. They said that they thought the show was boring, and they don't really like it, And
so what was their reaction to the Twitter
Well,
feedback?
they were just like, they kind of laughed it off. However, I thought it was perfect. And instead of them talking about it, they have this new thing now where Norman brings up the subject. Now what are we going to talk about? And Norman says, oh, have you heard? And then he'll talk about them.
Oh, really?
Yes. But I'm like, girls, if you're going to do Wendy and you're there to support her show,
you better
you should
bring
do all
it.
You should bring all of the caveats of the show.
You need to.
How do you start a Wendy Williams show without how you doing?
That's isn't that's signature?
Yes.
Signature.
Yes.
You don't do it, then you're not on the Wendy Williams show. I mean, I think that's a sign of respect.
Absolutely.
To Wendy Williams.
Absolutely.
And to keep
even Michael Rappaport, he goes, so, how you doing? And then they do it back, and he goes,
he does his little way of doing it.
You did it so nice. I want to do it twice. How you doing? Sherry, how you doing? I mean, everybody, Remy Ma, how you doing? And then it comes to them, and it's how you doing.
They feel that they can do something different to the norm.
No.
But you're not really paying respect to Wendy. She's kind enough to have you come back.
Yes. And
not once, not twice, but many times.
Yes.
And you need to live it up. And I just feel I don't want to watch it because it's mean. She's mean, Leah.
Yeah.
I used to like her back in the days when she was in King of Queens with the other guy. And now I'm like, nah, she's not. Right.
So I think they got some feedback. I know that the show, I think it runs to July, and then it goes into reruns until September.
Okay.
So we'll see after this week after that week, if they ever come back.
And we know they probably won't, because we want to make sure that we see Sherry Shepherd's show is coming.
Yes, and that starts in September, and Sherry is this week. She's the guest host this week. And of course, she's doing a great job.
I just feel so vibrant and happy and joyful when she's around, because she makes it seem very fun.
Yes, she does.
She makes the whole environment fun and want to be there with her.
I love that.
Yeah.
And our last topic of the day is just to remind everyone to stay diligent about COVID-19. It hasn't gone down a lot in certain countries. It's kind of flattened out a little in some have a little slight wave. It just kind of depends. Just be careful. There are still unvaccinated people are catching it faster than vaccinated people. The experience is different. And there's also the long hauler. You have to really, really be careful, because people are like, oh, I got it and I don't feel anything. And then you start talking to them and they're like, what did I say? And I'm like, what's wrong with you? I mean, they can't remember the end of their nose. And I go, that's long haulers, because you never did that before. So when you're around people, just kind of check it out and see. I know that in China, they're being very restrictive with their citizens. They're also restrating their travel. They want to, isolate this and knock it down.
Yeah, I said that, right? They actually put gates in front of their houses to restrict them from going anywhere.
Yes, and even though their numbers are going down, they don't feel they're out of the woods yet. And here in California and in the States, I mean, every day I'm hearing somebody, oh, so-and-so's got COVID. Oh, so-and-so's got COVID.
Yeah, we were talking about the high schools that had their proms, right?
Yep.
Right after prom.
Yes.
And my son went last weekend, And he was very, very smart. I'm very proud of him. Well, he sat outside to eat his meal.
Okay.
So that was great. And then when it came to dancing, we asked him, did you dance? Because there was a DJ. He goes, no, I didn't. I went on the balcony on the lookover. You know, there's a lookout, you can watch people.
Right.
He goes, I didn't want to because they were shouting and screaming and all in close proximity with each other.
Yeah, very smart.
So there you go. My son was being
smart.
intelligent, and they did COVID testing at school on the Thursday prior.
Right.
So that they have track of who has COVID, who doesn't.
Right.
So he tested negative.
Good.
And then afterwards, I think that they did testing again, tested negative. And
very good.
I'm very proud of him.
Yes. Well, you know, President Biden has sent out all of these test kits to people's homes. I want to give you all a little heads up. There's an expiration date on it. It doesn't last until you use it. So
did not know that.
So take a look at I just found this out
because we got some as well, and it comes with each kit comes with 2, right?
Yeah. So just check the date, the timing of it, and right now, if you look at them and they've expired, just order you some new ones.
I'm gonna go home and look to see.
Look on USPS.com, and they will ship you some more
for free.
For free.
Oh, good.
Yes.
There you go.
So,
no excuse.
You know, if you've gotten all your shots, you're good. I know some of my friends are like, I want to wait and, you know, maybe not get my booster now, wait a little bit. If you are in an environment where you're alone a lot, absolutely. If you're out and about with a lot of people, maybe you'll.
I'm going to hold off. I got my 2 shots, my third booster.
Right.
The 4th one I haven't got. I'm going to wait till like probably end of August.
Yeah.
September time to do it.
Yes, the new thing, and we haven't even mentioned the word, the monkeypox. I saw that for the first time.
Oh, yes.
And I thought, oh my God.
What
I mean, because when I had chicken pox when I was a kid, and when I had them, I was just itchy. And my grandmother put this calamine lotion stuff. It's pink. It's like putting pink chalk all over your body. And when you're a little brown girl with all that pink stuff on you, it's just really bad. But you know, she patted that all on me, and within 2 days, I was fine. And once the itching stops, because the way the irritation you scratch
is when you scratch.
Yeah. So when I saw all those boils, so please, 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 please be careful. This is once again, they're saying you don't just get it out of the air. You have to be in close
contact with someone.
So be careful. If you don't know somebody, just say, hi, how you doing? No, I'm good. I'm good over here. You stay over there.
Yeah, so be careful, but you don't have to be stressed out because monkey pox is not as contagious as the COVID.
Yes, and as far as we know, and it's new. I think that one of the things that I hope everyone realizes is because people are moving all around, you know, airports they've already started telling us here in Northern California, don't get on the road tomorrow between this time and this time, and Friday between here and here, you can just forget it. And I'm like, maybe I'll work from home on Friday, because they're just talking about the roads are going to be full of people. So, you know, yes, we miss our loved ones. Yes, we want to be with them. Just try and be safe and be careful.
Yeah. And they said that the other thing with this monkeypox is they already have a vaccine for it.
Excellent.
So
I think they said they were going to just give them the chicken pox one.
Or the smallpox one.
Smallpox, there you go. I knew it was one of the pox. They're like, we already have a vaccine, and this is something that we can do. So, you know, it has been a heavy, heavy, heavy day. Our hearts are still just
our hearts
really
and prayers
sad.
And thoughts are going out to all the families that are affected by this.
And the tea turned out better once we let it steep. I mean, I wish you could
let it
see
steep a bit
dark.
more.
Oh, there you
it's
can see
dark,
it's very
but
dark.
I'm not. It needs more flavor. I want more flavor. Sorry, people, this is not flavorful enough.
So even though it has good antioxidants
and
in it,
all the good stuff.
You just can't taste a lot of it. It's
I'm drinking it because I know what it does for our body.
So we know it's good for us. It's just like, it's not like when we do the lemon.
It's not much flavor. It's a bit dull in flavor.
Just a little bit.
It's very, very dark though.
Mm-hmm.
But there you have it. And thank you so much, everyone, for staying tuned with our chats. We love you very much. Thanks for the support. If you liked this video, hit that thumb icon, and want more videos, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
And the bell notification just means that you'll be the first to be notified.
Yes.
Love it. Thank you so much. We're Silicon Valley Girls Chat over tea. And remember to always keep smiling. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.